Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're talking love and marriage, Huntsville. You guys know why you're here. Today we've got a treat for you guys, because you guys are not the enemy. The content creators, the subscribers, you are not the issue at hand that one of the quote-unquote core six seems to think, right? It's funny now that the new dog whistle, now the new talking point is not about what happened, which is the judge believes that there is something to this case enough to add the OWN network to this lawsuit, to the 21 counts that adds up to a $105 million class action lawsuit against this Core 6 cast member, against the Oprah Winfrey Network, you guys. Nobody wants to talk about that, right? That's in support of, you know, a certain person, right? Nobody wants to talk about that. No. Instead, they want to know who the leak is. They want to know who spilled tea about what happened in court, right? And then there's these false narratives about, Marie slipped, you know, completely out of it, or he was going through it. Where's that receipt? What news article was that in? Because I didn't read any news article that said that. The news articles that I read that was courtesy of MSN.com was courtesy of UrbanBelle.com, which some of you are disrespecting for no reason. What benefit do they have to lie? Right? Specifically outlines what actually happened in court. But for some reason, you're pressed to find out if the blogger that was in court is the one leaking the information. Why? Why would they do that? And they're trying to win a case. Make it make sense. See, this is how small-minded sometimes people can be. And I've been in an industry where it doesn't matter who you are, what you are. If the price is right, if there's an opportunity to, you know, put something out there that's going to expose somebody, they don't care. It doesn't have to be a blogger. That's what's so crazy. Remember back in the day how often people, nurses, doctors, secretaries, the janitor would leak the celebrities that were in the hospital, the celebrities that were in the loony bin, the celebrities that, blocked off the entire, maternity ward to deliver their kid? You guys ate that stuff up. Take literally a couple of years ago, the Tasha K and Cardi B case. How many bloggers were in Atlanta covering the daily updates of this trial, you guys? And how many of you guys were eating it up? How many of you guys were using it as content? How many people flew out to LA for the Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion trial? How many bloggers were found there talking, seeing what was happening in the case and what the direction of it was going, and using that for content, and people on opposing sides of things and having different interpretations of what they saw in the same courtroom? You guys were eating all of this up, but now all of a sudden, a cast member from Love and Marriage Huntsville, that's where you want to draw the line? And there's been way more famous, way more high-profile people that have way more damaging things on them that got exposed. But you want to put, again, a cast member of Love and Marriage Huntsville, who's been messy themselves, by the way, who started this themselves, by the way, right? Oh, no. Let me rephrase that, right? It started with their own family. See, that's the piece that nobody wants to talk about, right? This new thing of attacking the bloggers, attacking the YouTubers, attacking the subscribers, there's a reason behind that, which we'll get to in a moment. But all this started with this cast member's own brother. It Be Your Own Family, Season 1. It started with your own brother, who wasn't on the show, and your own ex-wife, that were going live. This was before I was even a YouTuber, right? Was doing lives exposing you and making allegations against you and your brother and saying that Martel was not the only cheater. That you and Marceau were all in cahoots together. Your own brother got up there and said that your current wife was a side chick and that there were some issues with the timeline. That came from your brother's mouth. Your brother is the one who fanned all of these flames. And now he seems to have amnesia and is on a full obsession now of Mel and Mama Van. Because I guess the logic is, hey, we'll give you a couple hundred of our 2,500 an episode allegedly if you channel all of the drags that you did to me, Marceau, and my current wife, and you transport that over to Mama Van and Mel instead as a deflection. And just post every single day something disrespectful and slanderous and defamatory about them. So it gets the heat off of us, right? So that since none of our alleged mistresses have ever come out, nobody's ever going to think we ever did anything. Which again is, you know, this whole thing, just because you didn't see it doesn't mean it's not true, comes into play, right? But this started with your own family. One of your core 6 cast members, right? And you guys in particular have no problems interacting on Facebook with people, interacting on Instagram with strangers, and oh, by the way, liking messy comments, insulting your own cast members. That is okay. But when the tables turn, now everything has to be private. Now everything has to be positive vibes only. Now everything has to be, oh, nice things only. Only say good things about me, even if it's a lie. No. No. That's not how this is going to work. That's not how this works. You're talking about integrity and morals, but you want people to sacrifice their integrity and morals for a check, for clout, for to have some sort of relationship with you. Why? And so then that's when the plan went into action, because at the height of everything, at the height of all the Mel and Tel drama, which again, you had an opportunity, you and your ex-wife had an opportunity to really make some noise on the show, and you completely fumbled the bag. This whole thing, if you actually told the truth of what happened with you and your ex-wife, could have been an interesting storyline. Actually had legs, actually had background, had drama, had all types of things, and the way it just fell off the wayside and you guys just ran to the Mel and Tel drama like children. Like, oh my gosh, I can hide behind Mel and Tel's drama and never talk about my life again. And now here we are, where again, you're making somebody else the problem, instead of taking your own accountability, pun intended, as to why you're a part of the issue, that all of these things are happening. So I say that to say, you have no problem interacting with the blogs, you have no problem interacting with strangers on the internet, as long as they're insulting other people and not you. But all of a sudden now, it gets to the point where you're pillow-talking Carlos King complaining about YouTubers. For what? Like I said, if there's something that somebody says that is a flat-out lie, that is flat-out wrong about you, you have the platform to post your own receipts to refute that information. Why you don't do that is beyond me. And I can only come to the conclusion because they're not lying. But instead, you guys like to go on the attack and make somebody else the problem. And furthermore, you have made the YouTube content creator space your obsession when you started your first plan of attack with the division of the Love and Marriage Huntsville content creators with the Funky Dineva Awards, in which that basically confirms, as we are presently in 2024, that your family has a relationship with him of some sort, to where he has been with you guys multiple times, and oh, by the way, you even used him to go on his platform and lie for you. when we have the details of your arrest? You didn't care about the DUI. And the fact that you could have killed yourself, you could have killed other people, and how dangerous this was. And how you have access to get an Uber, a Lyft, or a taxi. And chose not to. But instead of being concerned about that, the seriousness of a DUI, the consequences of a DUI, you want Funky Dineva to feed his followers that you were arrested immediately at 4 in the morning. And there was no staff available until 12 noon the next day to enter your booking information. Now, please, like the people say, the jail's open 24/7, the hospitals are open 24/7. And some urgent cares in some locations. So please make it make sense to me what staff wasn't available for 8 hours to put in your arrest that conveniently says in the actual report was about a half hour or so before the booking information was entered. So how can you put this false narrative out there to, again, somebody who has a lot of followers, somebody who has a large following, for people to eat it up? And some people who don't watch the show, they're not going to think anything of it. But all it does is it forces people to investigate, to debunk the lies. It all comes full circle, right? You started this with this content creator stuff, the Funky Dineva Awards. And you successfully alienated some people from ever talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville again. Literally having categories of who's the most biased, who's the pro-Scott YouTubers. Who cares? What does it matter? Nobody, here's the thing, whatever pro channels or pro YouTubers or pro content creators or whatever you think exist, unless they're on the payroll, these people should have their own opinions, their own sound mind, and if they see something wrong that you said or did on the show, should have the wherewithal to speak on it and give an opinion. If they never critique you or have an opinion on you or feel that something you said or did is wrong, that's an issue. That comes into question. Because I don't care who's anybody's fave, right? We're in this fave era for some reason. And there's this assumption that either people are millimeters or mel supporters or just haters, right? That there's no nuance, that everybody's a monolithic, and there's no casual fan that is tired of all of you guys. That is tired of the effery on the show, is tired of the direction of the show, but you guys put everybody into one little box. Oh, it's the millimeters, they're doing all of it. No. You guys can't handle criticism, but why did you sign up for reality TV? You don't want tea exposed, but you don't want to show us your reality either on the show. You like being involved with content creators and hanging out with certain content creators and creating chaos and division amongst content creators. Until you personally feel attacked that somebody is going too hard against you, then it's not okay. But then it's okay for you to allegedly request people's personal information and identifying information, allegedly, so that you could see who they are, you could see what they look like, you could see where they live, you could see how much money they have in the bank. Why? Why is that important? What does that have to do with their commentary on the show? Are you looking to see if they get paid more than you on the show? Like what is the tea? Because it has nothing to do with anything. But you can't just threaten people and do all of these scare tactics and hope people are going to shut up. They removed the videos that you requested. Nobody was going to get on their platform and bow down and apologize to you. And that wasn't even the principle as to why you wanted to do that. The whole principle behind that was you wanted to stick it to Mel. and say, hey, I've got a few of who I deem to believe are your supporters apologizing to me. Take that. Because that's the obsession that you and this cast has right now. Oh, it's the millimeters. They're crazy. They're deplorables. Blah, 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 blah. But nobody provides any receipts of what actually is deplorable about the millimeters. Kimmy alleging she was going to get jumped at the podcast event, and that's why she didn't go. What millimeter has jumped anybody in the past? Can somebody point me to the police record or the incident that took place that a millimeter jumped a Love and Marriage Huntsville cast member? This is what I mean when you guys dog whistle like this. And you guys try to deflect from the truth and talk about nonsensical things like who is the leak, right? Who is doing X, Y, and Z, and it has nothing to do with anything. For all we know, it could have been the court clerk typing up the details of the hearing and decided, hey, you want some tea? Here's what happened. Owen's going to be a part of the lawsuit. You guys, you have to think big picture, and you don't think big picture when you're specifically wanting to make somebody else the scapegoat. And that's why there's so many problems. That's why there's so many content creators that have come out the woodworks to tell the truth about what's really happening. But you guys can't handle it. But if you were honest from the start, we wouldn't have to be dealing with this. If you just sat there and, take your own accountability, even with this DUI, you guys make a joke of it. Continue drinking the rest of the weekend. Joking, free Maurice and all the things. And you having the audacity to pull up in a Lamborghini. When in most states, your license is immediately suspended once you get a DUI, once you're arrested for a DUI. And then a decision is made at your hearing. And what the sentence is going to be. So you shouldn't be driving anywhere at all. In any car, for that matter. But again, you wanted to stunt on the gram, you wanted to flex and give the bow wow challenge and make it seem like everything's good all over here, although still zero explanation on where you were between the hours of 4 a.m. and noon. Or no, I'm sorry, 11:30, when the alleged single car crash happened, right? But it's okay for you guys to dig, right? And see, that's the thing, too. It's like, oh, people they're doing too much and digging to these people's personal lives. Well, what do you call what's happening with this lawsuit? What the original, frivolous claims that was taking place? We wouldn't be here if you get out of your feelings. Literally, people who say that they're unbothered, they don't care if you like them or not, they don't care if you talk about them or not, those are the people who are unbothered. But the people who are bothered are threatening lawsuits, are filing scare tactic lawsuits, are not even having the paperwork together, and everything is so bad, and you're specifically targeting black women. As if black women are the only people on this platform that have ever critiqued anything that you've said or done on this show. You have no smoke for anyone else, no smoke for any other race, no smoke for any other gender. Why is that? It seems very personal on your part, but you're the one getting on your platform saying people need to live in their reality outside of reality TV. But your reality outside of reality TV is stalking these YouTubers. Stalking social media, and everything is okay, like I said, if somebody else is being insulted. If somebody else is being dragged. If everybody else is all immersed in all of the Mel and Tel drama, you guys are having a key at it all. But the moment the spotlight is on you, now it's a problem. The moment that people have a negative reaction to what happened with you during your wife's cancer battle, now all of a sudden it's not you taking an accountability, it's not you apologizing that you could have been, X, Y, and Z better, you could have said and did X, Y, and Z, and not been, the way that it was shown to all of us, that all of us had the same reaction. All of us was trying to stick up for your wife and defend your wife, but instead she flipped the script and made us the scapegoat and claimed that we were doing too much. and that we were the problem, but you were the one that was being insulted by your own husband, which seems to be a theme on the show, by the way. Like, make it make sense. But this is the root of the problem, you guys. All of this deflection, all of these smoke and mirrors to avoid talking about your truth. It could have been the security guard in the, courtroom, for all we know, that decided to send a tip to a magazine or send a tip to a blogger. But this assumption, why would a blogger who is countersuing one of the cast members for millions and involving the network for millions, why would they jeopardize their own case by leaking what's happening in the case? Can you make it make sense to me? They would be on the mute challenge because they would know the consequences of doing something like that. But again, when you think that everything is somebody else's fault, when you think that it's always a blogger, it's always a Mel supporter, it's always a millimeter, when you are only on that track mind, this is the tomfoolery that happens. You guys refuse to think that there are other apps out there. You guys refuse to think that there are other people who do not like the Scots, who do not see it for the Scots, who do not like Destiny, who do not like Stormy, who do not see it for Stormy, who don't care about this Sunny, Moses, and Destiny storyline, who don't care about this Trisha, Ken, and Martell and husband storyline, who doesn't care about Carlos King being on the show more than his own cast. You don't want to talk about any of that. You don't want to talk about the people who are sick of that. Again, you think that the millimeters and the Mel supporters, that everybody's monolithic, and if anybody that's saying anything negative about these people, oh my gosh, it has to be a millimeter or Mel supporter, when 9 times out of 10 it actually isn't. 9 times out of 10 it's actually coming from people who don't even like Mel, that are coming for your faves next, because they see through the tomfoolery and they want to expose it. But don't sit here and deflect from discussing the seriousness of the judge thinking that there is something enough to this case to add the Oprah Winfrey Network to the lawsuit. Because if there was nothing to see here, if this was open and shut, and the judge shut it down, and the judge, agreed to Maurice's request to dismiss this whole lawsuit, you guys would be throwing a party and saying the YouTubers were in over their heads to think that they could beat a lawyer in Maurice. But instead, the judge said, oh, wait a second, there's something here in these 21 counts that we need to involve OWN. And anybody who works for OWN or associated with OWN and Discovery and whoever else that is going to be involved to provide us the receipts that we need to make a proper decision on this case. Because if there was nothing to see here, if there was no case at all, they would have denied that request. They would have, dismissed that request and said, no. We're just going to sort this out between the two of you. And you provide your evidence, and you provide your evidence, and we'll go from here. But it's the fact that they want OWN a part of this. Imagine being a network protecting a convicted murderer, you guys. and doing nothing but deleting scenes, right? And now, once again, protecting an ABUSER, protecting somebody who was convicted of revenge P and DV harassment in the 3rd degree, and you're still doing the mute challenge. You're still giving him a victim edit on the show. You're still allowing him to say whatever he wants about an ex-wife that he's not supposed to be discussing or be in any contact with in any capacity. And you think this is cute. But all this, if he really got this appeal to have this go to trial, all this is going to be right there in Discovery. All of you who admitted that you've seen the Revenge P, you're all going to be a part of the Discovery now. And not just the Discovery Channel, like the actual Discovery of you guys admitting all of these crimes and being accomplices. But now everybody wants to distance themselves. Now everybody wants to play dumb. Now it's about who's the leak. Can we alter the timeline so these people are so stupid, and you guys continue to underestimate the fans. You continue to insult the intelligence of the fan base and think that everybody's an idiot and think that everybody is stupid, that nobody's going to investigate anything, nobody's going to look into anything, and that we're just going to take your words on the gospel when we know from OG reality TV. Well, really, this didn't really start until people on Love and Hip Hop exposed that they were filming fake scenes and fake cars and fake properties and going back to like a Honda Accord when the show was, when they were done filming, you know, in the earlier seasons. They spilled all of that, you guys. How set up reality TV is. But they want to sell you a reality. But they're trying to sell you a Bow Wow Challenge lifestyle that doesn't exist. Your last hit was 30 years ago. So where is the money for this Aston Martin coming from? Make it make sense, right? You're this high-profile attorney and all these things. We don't know anything about your practice or clients or anything. All we see is empty offices. You're this renowned builder, home builder, and you have all of these properties and things that you're working on. But every time we see you, you're filming with a hard hat on and just standing on top of dirt for never, ever, ever land Scott Manor. Speaking of, the threat and claiming that the millimeters are stalking you and have been allegedly to your brother's house, still nobody's produced a receipt of that. And which house were they at that they quote-unquote drove by? Did they drive by Scott Manor like several people drove by Chateau Charest? Because how is that stalking if nobody's there? if there's literally nothing there but the dirt, the trees, and the bugs and all the things. like what is stalking about that? This is what I mean. Can you guys start providing receipts to back up what you're saying? And, oh, by the way, not manipulating receipts that don't match what you're accusing said receipts to have. That you have a whole different interpretation that has nothing to do with the receipts that you provided. But you want to, again, push the false narrative. That's not going to work. The focus needs to be on why the judge felt that OWN needed to be added to this lawsuit and what that entails. And what incriminating evidence do they feel that OWN is, that has, in their possession that is going to potentially exonerate the YouTubers? But also, there was a case to begin with. They wouldn't have accepted this countersuit to begin with if part of the counts was the fact that there was an attempt illegally to obtain people's information and not filing the paperwork correctly from the start. Oh, you thought this wasn't going to go this far. You thought people were going to be so scared and take their ball and go home and never speak of you again and never do anything again. You weren't expecting people to respond. You weren't expecting people to fight back. And now you're in jeopardy because what are they going to show on the show if you were anticipating this to be a storyline? But now legally OWN is involved. So how far can this really go? Or again, does a certain producer just not care as long as something can go viral, even if it could bite him in the butt later on when it's in discovery? Of basically mocking a lawsuit, the same lawsuit that these people are claiming that the blogs are leaking things, that the YouTubers are leaking things, and that it's supposed to be a private case and have integrity, but it's okay to film for the show a private case, a private lawsuit that you want to put on blast because you think you're sunning some YouTubers. You think you're going to silence content creators. And I'm telling you, don't fall for it. Don't believe the hype. Otherwise, the judge wouldn't have added OWN to the lawsuit. Talk about that instead of spreading fake news. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.